What's up guys, Shawnthebro here, and in today's episode we are going to be trying out something new, which is just teaching basic C++ concepts that apply to C++ and Unreal Engine. In this episode we're going to be going over initializer lists. I'm going to be using my fighting game tutorial series to do this, but it's not required that you actually do that. This is a generic episode, which means it will work in any project, any C++ class or struct, and you are likely going to want to use it wherever you can. Initializer lists are super important because they allow us to initialize variables in the first pass when the constructor is being called. When you assign variables in the constructor, like I do in all my series for all my classes at this point, what I do is I take the variables from the header file and set them equal to a value in the constructor. So I'm doing an initialization of the variable, and then I am assigning it in the constructor. By using an initializer list, I am just doing the initialization, and that is setting it to that value. This is much more efficient to do this all in one pass instead of two different operations. If you want to check out the fighting game tutorial series and the stuff you're seeing on the screen right now so that you can implement those things in your game, like hitboxes, throws, projectiles, then I'll link you to the iCard in the top right corner right here, which is the entire fighting game tutorial series playlist, so you can see everything that we've done to date, and there's new videos every Sunday for that. If you just care about learning C++ tips and tricks, then I'm going to offer up another C++ episode right here. This one will show you how we created a fighting game camera in C++. It's really enjoyable to work on and really fascinating for people like myself that love C++ and love coding, so if you're interested in seeing it, the link's right there. With that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started about learning initializer lists. So if we come into the code of any project that we have, it doesn't even have to be Unreal Engine. It can just be a standard C++ project. We have something called a constructor in most every class. So if I go to any class, let's go to my biggest one, which is my fighter template character. So specifically, I will go to my header file, so fighter template character.h, and I'm scrolling down to my class. Right here is where we're creating our fighter template character class. And if I scroll down a little bit in here, I went to the bottom of my file and I have this constructor. It's the same name as my class, and two parentheses because it is a function, a fighter template character. So now if we go to our fighter template character.cpp, we see our constructor is right here up at the top. And usually we were going in here and setting default values for variables. So for example, we had this other player variable, we're setting it to null pointer, we're setting our enum values, float values, integers, whatever the case may be. So now I want to set this up, instead of setting it in the body of the constructor, I'm going to set it up like an initializer list. The first thing I'm going to do is go to the end of my function name here. So this is a fighter template character, : a fighter template character, parentheses. And you can do this a lot of ways. People configure it and set it up different ways. It doesn't really matter how you organize it. It's going to work the same. So after the constructor name here, we're going to say : super, referencing the parent class's constructor. Then we need commas for each of these variables with their corresponding value. If I have to make a function call to something, I do recommend leaving that in the constructor body. But otherwise, I'm going to put it up here so we can start with the next one. Now, in my specific case, all this logic highlighted here is specific to the Unreal Engine side scroller template. So I didn't even set all this. A lot of this came with the template. All the variables we made in this series are right here. But if we scroll back up here, we can start setting these. So the first one was other player equals null pointer. So I can do comma, other player, and we do parentheses, null pointer. This is how you set it. Then we can just go to the next one, comma, character state, and it's being set to e character state : e underscore default. So character state, parentheses, e character state : e underscore default. And you can do this for as many variables as you want. I'm going to do it for every variable in my class, and I'm going to do this for every class in my project. So there are a lot of these here, and I don't mind setting them all and doing them all for you, but it would be a lot of repetition if I said it all out loud. So I'm going to speed this up as I run through all this, but let me also show you how I like to format it. So after our constructor name here, I like to enter, go down a line, and then I tab over my colon like this, and I have super here, and then I go right before the comma and enter. And I have this whole section here. Then I go up until the next comma and enter. And I'm going to keep this chain the whole way down. So at the end of my variable line here, I'm going to enter, comma, and set my next variable. So combo state equals e combo state colon colon e underscore none. Now we're going to repeat this for everything in this file. A lot of IDEs like Visual Studio and Rider will do this for you, so you don't have to do this all on your own. It's up to you if you want to do that. Just so that I can suffer through it with you guys, I'm going to do everything manually. If you do it once or twice, you'll get familiar with how initializer lists work. And finally, we are complete. So at this point, we can remove any of the variables that we did put in the initializer list from the constructor body. As you can see here, I didn't convert all of them. I didn't convert any of the template ones, and then there were a few more advanced types like a transform that I didn't convert. There are ways to handle these as well, but this is just an introductory episode to the topic. Feel free to do with your game and your logic as you wish. This is what I'm left with in mine. So there you go, guys. Now you can create an initializer list for any class that you have in C++. This is one of those tools that is really useful to know because it is efficient, so you get performance benefits out of it. It's very easy to implement, and it's also a simple upgrade for any class you want to use an initializer list on. If you enjoyed learning about initializer lists and you want to learn more C++ tips and tricks, especially within Unreal Engine. And please subscribe. It does more for myself and the channel than anything else you can do, and I really appreciate it. To everyone who has supported me on Patreon, YouTube membership, and Discord subscriptions, thank you so much for all the love and support. I am so happy you're enjoying this series as much as I am. I love making these things, and I'm so grateful for your support. If you ran into any trouble while following this episode or had any questions on initializer lists, feel free to join the Discord community. There is a link in the description. The support is completely free, and I would be happy to help you. Anyway, guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Shawnthebro, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, guys.